So I'm here looking at the construction of the White House, and pretty interesting history. So I'm going to share that with you guys. Wow. The layout of the city. It says the construction of the White House on July 16th, 1790, Congress passed the Residence Act, establishing a permanent capital for the United States along the Potomac River. President George Washington worked with French engineer Pierre Charles L'Enfant to select the sites for federal buildings, including the White House and the United States Capitol. In 1792, an encampment was built on this land for American, English, Scottish, and Irish wage laborers and craftsmen, along with barracks for enslaved African Americans who were hired out by their owners. These workers, free and enslaved, skilled and unskilled, labored alongside each other for the next 8 years to build the White House. And during that time, hundreds of enslaved people were involved in nearly every aspect of construction, including quarrying and transporting stone, cutting timber, producing bricks, and building the walls and roof. Throughout each phase of construction, enslaved and free African Americans worked as axemen, stonecutters, carpenters, brickmakers, sawers, and laborers. The use of enslaved labor to build the home of the President of the United States often seems as a symbol of democracy, illuminates our country's conflicted relationship with the institution of slavery and the ideals of freedom and equality promised in Americans' founding documents. So why did I read all that? We're headed to Liberia. And when the slaves were freed, they were sent, a lot of them were sent over there. And our nation has a really interesting history. And, as an African American, mostly American, right? It's just interesting to see, oftentimes I remember, like high school history, right? And you just see people in chains, like right in the bottom of a ship or being whipped or whatever, right? And no one, you don't see them building the nation, right? So I think that's just interesting and, illuminating that we have this history here. So learning more about our nation and what has gone on. It's fascinating. Washington, D.C. I'll be back. There's so much to take in. We've only got a few hours, but wow, just what we've seen so far. I would highly recommend taking a tour just to cover the topography, the amount of space that you can cover, the amount of exhibits that you can go to. You really can't walk it unless you're here for quite a while. So take a tour and get out and learn about your nation's history. Real cool. All right. Peace out.